Hi, Kinesiology 3010. Today I'm going to go through kind of a secondary video on your qualitative analysis project guidelines, and also go through a little bit of how to create your rubric. Because I know that's kind of the big question. Okay, you have your videos, you have your different angles, you have your critical elements. Now, how do I create this into a scoring rubric? Okay, so you should have a completed draft of your presentation of your project when you submit it on your draft due date, which is coming up on March 14th. So for this presentation, you need to create what's called an evaluation system or a rubric. These need to be one, clear criteria for each skill level and sensitive to different skill levels. So you need to make sure that your differences in your groups or the differences in your grading match or are able to differentiate between different groups. How we do that is really by looking at the critical elements and breaking them back down. So you have your critical elements for each of your phases. You know what is necessary for leg action, trunk action, head action, arm action, whatever your movement is during the preparation, the execution, and the follow-through phases of the movement. So those three phases: how you prepare, how you execute, and how you follow through. And then there are each of our body positions that are necessary to be successful in terms of safety, effectiveness, and efficiency. So safety is our most important, so least risk of injury. Effectiveness is number two. We're accomplishing that goal set forth based on whatever skill we're trying to perform. And then efficiency is performing that skill with the least expenditure of energy. So it is easy, seamless, effortless, able to execute the task safely and perform all of those movements correctly. How I want you to break down your rubric, or kind of the best way to do this, is to use a 4-point scale. So a 4-point scale, similar to how your rubric has different point scales. So in the sense of clear criteria for each skill level, there's 6 points are awarded if each of your criteria can separate between skill level of elite, advanced, intermediate, novice, and then never participated. So we have kind of this spectrum. Your ability to differentiate, you're given points based on how well you differentiate. You are going to score your participants, their movement, based on your critical elements. So for each phase, you have a specific set of critical elements. Your leg action during the preparation phase, a perfect leg action, so something that is safe, effective, and efficient, would be given a 4. Something that is less efficient, but still effective and safe, would be given a 3. Something that is less efficient and less effective, so it doesn't accomplish the goal as well, but it's still safe, would be given a 2. And something that is not efficient, not effective, and not safe would be given a 1. It's something that is less safe for the participant. And you would give possibly a 0 for something that is completely unsafe, could cause injury, because that's going to be the biggest detriment to performance. Is if you're hurt, you can't participate. So safety is a big key. So we're looking at what is perfect, what is the top level, most effective, most efficient, most safe, and then we work backwards, something that's less efficient. So what is a body position for maybe the lower extremity, the trunk, that is less efficient but still effective and safe for your participant within that skill level. So you're the experts on your skill, and you're determining your rubric. So break it down in that format. Break it down as perfect, less efficient, less effective, less safe, and completely unsafe. That way you can really differentiate, because high performers are very effective, very efficient, very safe. A less or lower level performers, maybe intermediates, less experienced, are often less efficient, but they are effective. They achieve the task, but it takes a lot more. It doesn't look as pretty. It doesn't look like they're using seamless movement. It looks like it's very full of effort. They're not seamlessly and effortlessly performing whatever task. Novices are often less effective as well as less efficient. And those who are very new to the task often will perform things that are unsafe. So use that as kind of your building a rubric criteria. Make sure that you check off each box in your rubric of how I'm going to assess your project. I know it's kind of inception. You're creating a rubric about a presentation of movement, and then you're getting assessed based on a rubric of your rubric of presenting movement. So make sure we check all these boxes and make sure that all your group members are videotaped. There's clear views, good angles, a minimum of 2 angles. List all your critical features, explain why. That's a big one, explain why. Don't just say their leg needs to be in this position. It needs to be bent. It needs to be straight. Use wording like how does it create it more efficiency or effectiveness or safety. Those are great tools or kind of pieces to help you explain why those features are critical to the movement. It's critical because it makes it effective. It's critical because it makes it efficient or it makes it safe. Those are kind of how you can establish that why. And then make sure that you're videotaped from 2 different angles. Explain those angles. So don't forget that. Students sometimes forget that. Explain why you chose those angles. Remember, movements that are performed kind of going forward and backward are best viewed from the side. Movements going side to side are best viewed from the front. And movements that create twisting are best viewed from kind of a diagonal angle. So mix those up. I recommend a diagonal and a forward or a diagonal and a side angle. And make sure they're consistent within your participants so that you can have a consistent evaluation. Don't have one group member that has a forward and a side view and the next has 2 diagonal views. We can't view everything using those separate angles. You're not going to see the same movement patterns. You're going to miss pieces that you would have seen otherwise. And then make sure that you present the videotapes, present the scores, and explain how those scores were given to the group members. That's a key there. Why were they given that score? Is it because they were less efficient? Is it because they were less safe? Why was that? And then everyone must participate. If you don't participate, you lose points, or everyone loses points, but we will have a peer evaluation. So if one of your group members, hopefully doesn't, but one of your group members say just goes missing in action, MIA, you never see them, they don't present anything, they don't contribute at all, you have the chance to give them the grade that you think that they deserve based on their contribution, based on quality and quantity of contribution. And that grade that you give to your peers will be multiplied by your final group grade to give you your final grade on the project. So don't feel like you're helpless if one of your group members is slacking off. You have the chance to express your feelings after. So make sure that we go through all of those pieces, present all of that. You can present it in a voiced over PowerPoint or as a recorded Zoom meeting. As long as I can view everything, make sure you double check. If I can't view things, it's not going to work. If it's in a Mac format, so an Apple format, please convert it to something else because I can't access those videos. If you have questions on if something is working or if I'm able to view it, please send it to me separately and then I'll be able to help you out. Or post it up on or submit it on Canvas and then let me know, hey, can you check this? Make sure that it's working. I'm happy to do that. this draft is there so that I can give you feedback so that you can get an even better grade on your final presentation. Okay, so do your best job at the start, and it will lessen the amount of work that you're going to have to do later. All right, thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here to help.